This is the moment that we've all been waiting for. Oh my goodness. Thank you all so much, so much, so much for coming this afternoon for being with us. And this is it, Margaret. This is our last event, I think, for the year. Oh my goodness. She's not on platform yet. I'm sorry. At any rate, I did see her earlier. But at any rate, I'm just super excited and I want to say thank you to all of the speakers that have agreed to display your talents and your services, your offerings today. Truly, it is a blessing, and I definitely want to give a special shout out to Michelle, Madge. Didn't I see Madge? Yeah, Madge.
Mhm.
Oh, and Jackie, because we asked you, I mentioned it to you all at the last minute. And I just want to say thank you, Michelle, um, for just saying yes. And that's what it's all about. Madge, we go way back. Madge gonna say yes anyway, unless she just can't do it. But I did tell her when she called me the other day, but normally I would not have bothered Madge about this because I know what her history is and what she has going on. But that just goes to show. But so God allowed Madge to call me, and that's rare. But because she's in this collaboration book we did, it prompted a conversation, and that allowed me to ask her. Anyway, and I say this because let me tell you something, ladies and gentlemen. If you don't ask the right questions, you'll never get the answer. When me and Michelle was talking, it wasn't about this event. It was about the upcoming conference that we're hosting in Atlanta, Georgia in October. Y'all give me some hearts, those of you who are planning on coming to Atlanta who are on this platform today. Give me some hearts, give me some hearts, give me some hearts, because truly, truly, this is what the community is all about. We have built communities all over. Everybody build communities. And when you can get people to buy into what you do, and as they say, know, like, and trust you, that's a bonus. And I don't take any credit for that. I give it all to God because I'm not the woman today who I used to be. I wasn't who I am today back in the day. So it was only by the grace of God that he picked me up, cleaned me up, forgave me, and he gave me a chance to start all over again. And I don't want to mess it up this time, y'all. So that's why I got to stay focused on the call. And I just thank God for that. And I just thank God for everybody's willingness. And I also am going to give out a little bit of disclaimer, and that is that please, whatever we do, when you leave the platform today, just click your camera off, whether it's to go to the ladies' room, men's room, whatever. Just click the camera off. And if you have to leave permanently because of an emergency or whatever reason, please do not put it in the chat because what that does, it distracts the speaker, whoever is speaking at that moment. And just so you all will know why they got these virtual backgrounds up there. Well, it's to protect you as a speaker, and it's to protect the attendees because everybody, if they choose to, normally gets a chance to say something in these events. So with that, we want to protect that because those things are called distractions. And when we get distracted, I just might miss something that Jasmine is saying at that moment. Why? Because I'm nosy. I'm nosy like everybody else. And when that chat hits and say I'm leaving, I got to go feed the cat. I'm looking at it, and then I'm thinking after I look at it, we didn't need to know that. That's now I'm not even listening to Jazz no more. So it's always a method to our madness, and all we do is follow the instructions that God gives us. That means the vision. Everybody has a vision. And we have to follow the vision that God gives us. And sometimes when people don't want to follow your protocol, because you're going to run into that. I've been doing this thing over a decade, worked for corporate America 29 years, retired after 29 years in law enforcement. So I know the dynamics of people. And some people you can tell them write it out. They still gonna, buck the system, if you will. I saw it all the time in corporate America. And it's no different in this arena. But the bottom line is when you fail to follow people's protocol for their businesses, you're not failing and disobeying them. You are to a degree, but most importantly, you're failing to do what God said because we are all just instruments. And this is what this event is about: love, 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 love. So we love each other. Guess what? Just follow the protocol. And if you don't want to do something, you don't want to commit, don't commit to something you know you're not going to deliver because you do disrupt the process, not just of the host or of the person who you committed to for whatever reason, you're disrupting the process because now you're tapping into their emotions. And when we tap into people's emotions, when they're expecting a lot more from you, it does kind of drain them of their energy. Oprah Winfrey said it real good one day. She said they suck the blood out of you. So I'm just saying, let's just be on one accord. I thank you all so much again for coming. And with that, I'm going to introduce none other today, our co-host. I'm sorry. I done demoted you. I'm going to introduce our host for today, and she's not on platform yet. I have to play her bio. I'm going to introduce our co-host for today. Somebody's on it though. I like that. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Margaret Thorli's mission is clear: to inspire and empower single fathers and men, guiding them to excel in their roles as dedicated parents and influential leaders within their communities. CEO of Let's Change Your Life with Margaret Thorli. Award-winning business startup trainer, a trailblazing entrepreneur and celebrated author known for her multiple award-winning books. Ladies and gentlemen, I introduce you to Margaret Thorli.
Right.
Some
Thank you. Thank you.
some energy. Come on. Welcome to the platform, Margaret Thorli.
Thank you so much, Dr. Patricia Rogers. Thank you. Truly appreciate you. And I really want to say thank you to all of you that say yes to the call of God to come and speak on this platform. I truly appreciate you and I truly love you. And I look forward to listen to your amazing, wonderful talk. I know it's going to be fantastic. Thank you so much. Enjoy, relax, and have a great time. So I look forward to your talks. Dr. Rogers, I salute you. Thank you. I take it back to you. Thanks a lot.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. And now, ladies and gentlemen, you all know, do we have any men on the platform? Because I know we had a speaker man. Where's Daniel? Is Daniel here?
Daniel's,
That's okay. You don't have to answer that.
okay.
I'm sorry. We'll talk later. I just don't want to be saying, ladies and gentlemen, do we have any men on the platform? Well, if we don't, we're gonna act like we do because my presentations, I say ladies and gentlemen all the time, but that's because I thought he was here and Sanya is missing also. But at any rate, we're gonna keep it moving. And now, guess what we're going to do now? One of the most important things that we do at all of our events, and that's bring God in. We have to bring him in. And with that, I'm going to introduce to you none other than Evangelist Grace Barkwell. And she is going to be our intercessor for today. And she's going to give us what God has given to her so that the Lord will bless each and every one of us as we go forth and speak the words of inspiration. You're on.
Okay, let us pray now. Dear God, thank you for this opportunity to all meet together on this platform to speak about love and relationships. May the words of our mouths be a blessing to all who hear, as we all share with each other our research, knowledge, and expertise. And I pray that you would bless our host, Margaret Thorli, and our co-host, Dr. Patricia Rogers, as well as our speakers, Dr. Medge Jaspan, Sandra Moy'e, Jasmine Ofori, Jeanice, Jackie Williams, Michelle Clarkson, Lease Youmans, Gail Dixon, Dr. Lawanna Parker, Anne Mecca, Fenka Christabel Cabon, Sandra Noble, Cynthia Moy'e, and Peggy Bareh. Be with us all today and bless our words in Jesus' precious and holy name. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Amen and amen. And Grace does our prayer quite often in our events. And I just love her spirit of humility, her spiritual connection that she has with God. And I'm bringing that up because she's willing. And not only that, what I really like about the way she prays, and I know y'all probably not used to it. I wasn't either when I first heard it, but every time she prayed, she called everybody by name. That's what we need. Because sometimes, even when we're going through what we're going through in our personal lives, people sometimes, somebody got to know really what we're going through, even though we don't want to tell everybody. But we got to tell somebody so they'll know what to pray for. So we thank you for that, Grace. And I already know it's on and popping. Okay. So with that, we want everybody to wave your hand in the air like you just don't care. Why? Because we're going to get some snapshots. We love social media and we are going to get some snapshots. So wave your hand in the air like you just don't freaking care. Woo! Y'all looking good too. Awesome. Awesome. Oh, look at this. Summer showed up. Okay, hey, baby. Okay. So now we're going to move on and we're going to go right into our first speaker. And our first speaker is going to be Miss Youmans Lease. I'm going to take that back. Miss Lease Youmans. And her topic is going to be, now we're going to move on and free. We're going to go right into our first speaker. To love. Her topic is going to be free to love. And I'm ready for that one. Take it away. You're on the clock. All speakers will have 7 minutes, 5 to 7. Take it away.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. It's good to be here. And again, my topic is free to love, reclaiming the right to be whole in relationship. So I want to start off by asking everyone a question. Are you free to love, or are you just performing what love looks like? So many of us, we know how to say, I love you. We have learned the script, the posture, the routine, and all the gestures of love that's covering the hesitation, the memories of what broke your heart, and the pain that causes you to pause and hesitate and not walk fully in freedom in love. Another question for you is, are you loving from a place of wholeness, or are you loving from a place of wounds? So wholeness versus woundedness. Wholeness is authenticity, selflessness, security, and vulnerability. And when we look at woundedness, that is pretending, selfish, insecurity, and guarded. So wholeness liberates while woundedness imprisons. And so what gets in the way, and what are the barriers to love and loving freely? Another question that you can ask yourself, am I loving freely while still bound silently? So am I looking one way on the outside, but on the inside is telling a totally different story when it comes to our personal love stories? That could be with ourselves, or a family member, a romantic type of relationship, or friendship. But am I loving freely while still bound silently? So the struggle is not always in finding love, it's also in receiving love, because many people don't have a problem with finding love, but when we're loving from a wounded place, that's not a place of healthiness within our love relationships. So someone may struggle to receive love, to trust it, and also to believe that they deserve it. So in wounds, what wounds do, they teach us survival and not intimacy. Because of the wounds, it's highly possible that you can be holding hands in relationships while still holding on to and being held captive by the change from rejection, abandonment, and betrayal. Wounds can also cause you to mistake fear for discernment, And also performance for worth and value, feeling that you have to do something in order to earn the love or do something in order to prove yourself in a relationship. So when we're loving from a wounded place, we build walls to protect our hearts because of the wounds, which cause us to hold back, to not show up fully, and to give just enough not to get hurt. And sometimes we can call that wisdom, but it's really not operating from a place of wisdom. It's the residue of the wounds. And you can't build real relationships from the residue of your wounds. And some other barriers to love that can hold us hostage are the fear of being left, the fear of being abandoned, and the fear of being rejected. We can also dim our light so that it's easier to love when we are with someone or surrounds in someone's presence that they don't feel comfortable with our level where we are in life or our security. We can find ourselves dimming our lights instead of just walking away from that particular relationship. And also the agreement with pain. Sometimes when we've been hurt so much and when we are not free from the wounds of past relationships or what hurt us, we just come into agreement with the pain and accept that that's our portion in life. But love is not earned, it's received. Love is not bondage, it's freedom. And then the shift, what real freedom looks like when it comes to love. So to be free to love is to show up fully, not perfectly, not guarded, but whole. And being free to love also means not loving to prove yourself, which is performance based. If I do something, they're going to like me. That's people pleasing. So not loving to prove yourself, not loving from a fear of losing, which is insecurity. Maybe someone walked out on you. Maybe someone betrayed you. Maybe someone abandoned you. So now there's that fear that you take into your love relationships that you're going to lose someone. So you're operating in from a place of insecurity, but loving because I'm already whole, which is a choice. So when we're whole, we choose who we are in relationships with. When we're whole, we can choose to set certain boundaries, especially when it comes to family members. We don't want to cut our family off, but when we're whole, we have a choice as how we operate within those love relationships. And one way we can base our love relationships on is God. God's love redefines everything, and it should define how we love. So we know that God love restores, it renews, and it also reveals things to us. And when we're loving from a place of freedom, it's not about flawlessness, but it's about being in a place of I'm healing, if that's the space that you're in, and I'm not hiding. There's some weaknesses there, but I'm not hiding those weaknesses because I'm showing up whole and I'm moving forward in that wholeness. So healthy love does not silence you, it hears you. It doesn't crush your spirit, it covers you. And it doesn't cost you your identity, it confirms it. But when we're wounded, we're blinded to these particular things. And when we're wounded, instead of that healthy love and what it does, we allow things to shut us up. We allow things or be in relationship with individuals that are not safe for us. So instead of covering us, they uncover us or continue to wound us. And those that confirm our identity when we're wounded, we get with individuals or we find ourselves in spaces that people are belittling us, putting us down, deterring us from things that we would like to move forward in, as opposed to if we are whole, we don't find ourselves in those relationships. So when you are free to love, you no longer show up for auditions in order to receive affection. You show up in the fullness of who you are with no apologies. You show up and you don't have to explain yourself. You show up and you don't have to apologize or back down from who God created you to be. And being free to love also means that You're able to receive love without suspicion. You're able to receive and not thinking like this is too good to be true, or what does this individual want from me, but you're receiving without suspicion. You offer love without manipulation. You give your love and not trying to manipulate the situation, as if an individual is not going to be in your life, you're not going to be able to survive. And then standing in love without losing yourself. So my invitation to you today is, from this moment forward, no longer love from a place of survival, no longer dim your light, love from the overflow of your healing and wholeness. Let love find you whole, not because you have it all figured out, but because you've stopped abandoning yourself. You are allowed to love without needing to be less. You are allowed to have boundaries without the feelings of guilt. So I invite you also to take your time. Voice your needs, your feelings, your opinions. Feel safe as who you are and in who you are, who God created you to be. I invite you to know that you are enough. You are not hard to love. You are not late. It's not too late for you to step into a place of wholeness. It's not too late for you to step into a place of healthy love, where love is going to restore you, where love is going to reinvigorate you. And also, in closing, I just want you to know that I pray that you love with clarity, because wounds cause confusion, wounds cause chaos in your life, and that you choose relationships that require you to betray yourself, and that your heart will be whole, and may your freedom be undeniable, because you are free to love. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Miss Lease. Um, I love what you said, and I'm not gonna go, but you hit some valid points. And the main thing, that topic is about full free to love. And I love the part when you said you can't go into new relationships with old baggage. And that refers to anybody, male, female, friends, colleagues, whatever. We got to get rid of that baggage, because we'll find ourselves going through the same things over and over and over again. And that's what God allows us to do. We go through it till we get it right. So I want to say thank you so much for that message. Next, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to have Medge Jaspan. Medge Jaspan. Take it away, Miss Jaspan.
Hello, wonderful ladies. I can say ladies because there is no gentleman on the call today. I am always excited to answer to Dr. Pat when she say, "Can you talk? Can you talk?" Because I know that people before me and after me will have almost the same message that I have. We are so connected that we don't even realize it, but we have this amazing power inside that connect all of us. So I'm Dr. Medge, and my passion is to help people realize that they are really unique and fabulous, exactly like they are. What I do, I help people realize that as you understand that, you realize that you have a mission on earth and you came with all the potential to do so. All the potential is already there. We have to dive in and understand that, wow, I can find it. I can find it in a way that is easier than we believe it is. So relationship, love is my favorite subject. As soon as I hear love, I smile. I feel great because for me, love is really the essence of everything. The essence of everything. If we were teaching our kids, society, to love, it will change the world. Because love connects each of us in a bigger way that we can even think. When you think about love, we think about relationship. But the first love is a relationship with self. So some people say, oh, I cannot love myself because I have to love my neighbor, I have to love God. Yes, but imagine that love gave you this beautiful body, this beautiful soul, this beautiful spirit, this beautiful mind that you have. What it means? It means that everything that you are, it's God. So as you begin to love yourself again, because some of us forgot to love ourselves. Some of us are lost in the minutiae, the little stuff that happen all over. We are distracted. So let's do that. 2 seconds. Let's refocus. I will focus on who I am, because as I am bringing to the world what I should bring to the world. And love is coming from everywhere, every part of our body, every expression, every feeling is about love. As soon as we reconnect, we are connecting to our amazing divine power. So, and relationship occur naturally. Do you realize that sometime you meet people and you connect just like that? It's instant. Why it happened instantly? It's because at this time with this person, you were open and you felt this connection. This person was also open. So we are struggling sometimes to make connection, to have relationships. But in fact, it should occur naturally. Naturally, we meet people. Naturally, we know if we love this person. And it's not about hate or love. It's just about flowing in life. So relationships are occurring naturally when we don't force them to happen, when we don't fight them. As soon as we embrace this divine part of us, we reconnect to the person that we truly are, without all the blah blah. I say the fly around. Suddenly, we are more aligned to open to love for self, love for God, love for all the people around us, love for the world. Because if we think about it, why in all the meetings that we have, every meeting that we are completing each other. I can call on any of you. We have talked before at Dr. Part events. Each of us, we have one little piece, one little stone that we bring. And each time we bring the same or one more. And each time we complete each other. Why is that? Because really we are unique and fabulous. Exactly how we are. So relationship, I love people. As those who know me know that I love people. And wherever I go, they speak French, English, or I cannot speak their language, I will connect. I will connect with a smile. Because most of the time, the most important, and I want you to hear that, it's creating constant positive emotion. As we create positive emotion, we are lost in minutia. We are less lost in the stuff, the noise around. So how do we create positive emotion? We create them by being first focusing on self. As I take care of myself, I embrace who I am, and I extract the amazingness in me, I am able to bring that to the world. So that is not selfishness, it's being focused on your mission. That is first. The second one that I will say, it's as soon as you hear some noise in your head, they are coming from all around, all the issues that you have before, all the drama, trauma, and abuse that you might have before. You heard the noise, you say, okay, is it real or it's not real? Most of the time, it's not real. Most of the time, there are memories of stuff that happened. Remember that. So positive emotions are easy to create when we are bringing out our divine part, focusing on who you are in order for you to be the best version of yourself. Thank you for listening. Thank you for following me on Instagram. And I would love, if you want to change your life, to come to any of our retreats in person in Florida, California, in France, and we are preparing something great in Greece for you also. Thank you, thank you, thank you, and God bless all of you.
Awesome. Come on, give us some energy, y'all. Come on, come on, come on. Give us some energy. Come on, come on, come on. Okay, all right, all right, all right. And next, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much, Medge, for that message. We are definitely unique and fabulous. And when we understand that, and it goes right back to free to love, love yourself. When we understand that, you guys, y'all won't hold back. That was one of the best lessons I could have ever learned, and that was to love myself. I was looking forward to everywhere else, and it wasn't working. It wasn't working. But when I realized that everything I needed was right inside of me, you just said that I was born with it. But it all goes back to discovering who you are, whose you are, and of course, your gifts and your talents, and then not being afraid to share them. So thank you so much for that. Next, we're going to have coming to you, none other than my TikTok colleague. And I hope she's here. I don't see her, but I hope she's on the platform. And I met her on TikTok, and I say that because, ladies and gentlemen, those of you who are entrepreneurs and y'all don't want to work that social media, you don't have to work it. You got to work it. Get a lot of speakers from social media, and I've been doing this since May 14th pandemic. And being visible, consistency, all of that stuff, people are telling the truth. And I didn't realize until I tried it. So with that, I keep my face in the crowd on every platform I can, and TikTok is where I met Cynthia Moy'e. We bring you to the platform. Cynthia Moy'e. Give us some energy, y'all. She's stepping out. She's stepping out. Give us some energy.
Hello, sugar lumps and sugar lumpets. Listen. Dating a single parent, it's unique and it has its own dynamics. Considerations, it has its ups. But if you can accept the reality that her child or his child comes first, besides God, because it's always God. Be patient and understand that at any given moment, plans can change. Things come up unexpectedly. To deal with them according to they present itself. Avoid creating competition. Don't compete with that person's child. Love or affectionate. Take it slow. Don't rush into anything. You have to lay out a foundation in any type of relationship, whether it's love, or whether it's a situationship, or whether it's a professionalship. You have to build a foundation. Take your time. And you will know after you pray to whomever you serve. Some call him Buddha, others call him God. Whoever you serve, whether it's Jehovah, talk to him first, and he will direct you and let you know when it's the right time and the right season to introduce your kids to your loved one or your love mate. Focus on building strong foundations. And when I say strong foundations, I'm saying Have an open line of communication, because communication is the key. Nobody can read your mind. You have to be vocal and express your gratitude, express how you feel, because nobody knows what you're thinking but you. Be honest and transparent. It's essential in any relationship, regardless to feel. Always have an open mind and say what you mean and mean what you say, because your words are your bond. Practice being active in listening. Always remember to think before you speak. This shows that you are open to other ways people think. Set clear boundaries. Discuss what you feel like is acceptable and not acceptable, because what you think is acceptable may not be acceptable to me. Also, give emotional support. This is very hard. A lot of times we so stuck on self until we don't realize that some of the things we say, people don't accept it the way you want them to accept it. So always be emotional support. Respect one's parenting style. I can't say that enough. Be respectful. That person asks you for your opinion or your input on, don't offer it. Because time is valuable. And that's the one thing you got to learn. Once you love yourself, you can love others. But time is something you cannot get back. That is the most essential, precious gift, is time, because time waits on no one. Remember, adjusting your expectations, recognizing that the relationship will be different than dating someone without kids. Be patient, be acceptable, and focus on building a strong and trusting connection. By understanding and addressing these aspects with open communication, remember, patience and empathy, dating a single parent can be fulfilling and a rewarding experience. My name is Cynthia Moy'e on all social media platforms. I'm from Humble, Texas, to Unity and Services under the leadership of Dr. Patricia Rogers. I love you wholeheartedly and thank you for having me aboard.
Send you some, Mel. You go, girl. Oh my goodness. And this is what social media is all about. You meet people online and you meet them online and bring them offline. I'm good. I'm good. And I tell you, when I met her, she didn't hesitate to say yes. I was telling her what I do. We had a conversation and she's been following me ever since. And I follow her on TikTok and we comment one another. And that's what it's all about. She talked about that emotional support, and I can tell you the list goes on for just the things that she have just done for me, just to show me that she appreciates me. And I've never met her. Oh, yes, I did. I met her. She did come to Atlanta to a feast, and I met her at that feast. So she will be coming also. She's also in the collaboration book, and she's gonna be coming to Atlanta on October the 18th. 17th, 15th, up through those days. And all of us are just going to have an awesome, awesome family reunion, because a lot of us have not even met yet. And I just want to say thank you all again and again and again. So now, next, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to have Our next speaker is going to be Sandra Noble, and her topic is Heal to Attract the Truth About Love. Heal to attract the truth about love. Take it away, you're up.
The glass shattered after I dropped it. The adult me cleaned it up and moved on, but the wounded part of me felt shame. I was supposed to be perfect, no mistakes, no missteps. And if I broke something, even a glass, I thought it meant I was broken. So what does that have to do with relationships? Everything. I would go out socially, hoping to meet someone, but once I did, I had nothing to say. How do you build a relationship when you're hiding behind shame, when you don't like yourself enough to reveal yourself? I couldn't even admit I broke a glass. So how could I tell someone my truth? Relationships are mirrors. And if we carry unhealed wounds, we attract people who echo that energy. People who reinforce our unworthiness instead of celebrating our value. Healing is not about perfection, it's about self-acceptance. It's about forgiving yourself, not to forget the lesson, but to release the storyline that says, I'm not enough. Again, I'm Sandra Noble, a transformational life coach, and in my Dream Builder coaching program, we help clients with this story in every domain of life: health and well-being, vocation, time and money freedom, and of course, love and relationships. And let me tell you, they're all connected. Health, for example, especially as we get older, can have a direct impact on how relationships go. Are you physically flexible and fit enough to run and play with your children and grandchildren? Is the health of one partner causing the relationship roles to change? Is there a switch from caretaker role to being cared for? Can we engage in activities that we used to do together, like roller skating, dancing, and even sex? A strained relationship can stem from poor health. A toxic job can leak into resentments into your personal life. Financial stress can drain the joy out of your partnerships. You can't separate them. When I was full of shame, I attracted people who didn't see my worth because I couldn't see my worth. Now that I know better, I do better. I value emotional maturity, sobriety, integrity. So I attract people who reflect that. Maybe not perfectly, but in alignment. We attract people who match the level of healing and clarity that we walk in. So if I want a deeply loving relationship, ask yourself, am I the kind of person I want to be in relationship with? Anyone who's not open to learning and growing is not for me. Self-reflection and self-healing are essential for getting along with people. It's important that we don't make each other wrong. It's important to step back and consider my part, their part in any conflict, tension, or issue. And we both take responsibility for our own actions. I have a sugar addiction, but otherwise I have a clean lifestyle. So that is who I want to attract. So it means deciding I won't tolerate drug use, other traditional addictions, drinking with driving, or feeling disrespected about boundaries. I had one guy who felt offended when I said he couldn't smoke marijuana in my house or in the car if I was riding with him. Since he thought my request was unreasonable, then he wasn't someone I should be dealing with. Next, and I require monogamy in romantic relationships. Otherwise, we can be friends, but there will be no sexual intimacy. Another guy actually told me, what I do with other women is not your business. My perspective is that if I'm having sex with him, then what he does with another woman is my business. So we have to have conversations so everybody is clear about expectations. Love isn't just about who shows up. It's about what you allow. It's about showing your value, knowing your value, and choosing accordingly. One of the biggest shifts I made was overcoming beliefs that I didn't deserve good love. When we often get stuck in life because of our becauses. I can't start a new business because I'm too old or because I'll lose all my benefits. I can't take time off because I don't have the money, because I don't have the time. My boss won't let me. I can't find the love of my life because I'm not young enough, thin enough, or attractive enough. I used to think, who would want someone like me? Now I know I am worthy of God's goodness, including love, joy, intimacy, and mutual respect. I'm open to receive, and when you're open, the right kind of love flows in. Not just romantic love, but healthy friendships, family healing, and divine support. So, in case you didn't catch it, for healthy relations, you have to have, number one, to heal yourself. Let go of the baggage. In the words of Erykah Badu, bag lady, you gonna hurt your back, dragging all those bags like that. Bag lady, you gonna miss your bus, you can't hurry up because you got too much stuff. Let it go. Number two, be the person you want to attract. So another quote, be the change you want to see. So be the type of person you want to be. Get clear on your values and your non-negotiables. Number three, overcome limiting beliefs. Stop the negative self-talk. Stop the focus on what is not right about you, about other people and the world. Know that you're worthy of God's goodness, which includes loving relationships. Have you been hiding behind shame, playing small, or settling for relationships that don't honor your worth? If you're ready to break free from those patterns and finally step into life and success and the relationships you were meant to have, you can grab one of my $300 Dream Jumpstart Strategy sessions, which is complimentary for at least today. It's a powerful conversation where we get clear on what you really want and love and how to actually get there. So life is about relationships. Let's have some good ones. Let's have the good times roll. I'll put the link in the chat if anyone's interested in my strategy session.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you. Way to go. Way to go. That was good stuff. We didn't have any entertainment on schedule. Normally we have somebody play music for us or something of that nature, their gifts and talents. But we didn't need it today. Y'all, let's give Sandra some energy for her awesome song. Oh my goodness. I love that energy. I love that energy. And that's so we all saying the same thing, y'all. You gotta love yourself. Gotta get rid of the baggage. We all saying the same thing. Okay. So our next and the next thing that's on program is the breakout room.
Welcome back, everybody. I just want to ask you, who's had a good room? Who have you met? Can you put your hands up and tell us a bit about, what you've learned in that session of, getting to connect with people? So put your hands up, virtual hands, raise your hands. There's a button at the bottom that says raise your hands. If you go close to the shield, you'll see a hand. Oh, somebody's done it already. Lease Youmans, feel free to share what you've learned.
Yes, so I had the shortest hair, so I first.
Funny.
So I was in the room with Jeanice Cummings and also Jackie Williams, and just first Jackie, she was kind of quiet in the beginning, but she does so much. She's like so versatile, so creative, just doing a whole lot of things. And I like that. And I also like the fact that she's a younger woman doing all of the great things that she's doing. And she talked about her artwork. So I'm interested in seeing what that is about. She gave me her website. And then with Janine, we kind of made a connection there because what my focus is trauma and helping people to break free from trauma so that they can live out their purpose in God fully. And she hit on emotional trauma. So we connected in that way and how we can work together moving forward.
Oh, that's fantastic. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah, I've met Janine as well. She's a lovely lady. So who's next? Margaret, you want to share what you've learned by joining that discussion?
Yes, I was in the room with Sandra and Michelle, and it was brilliant to listen to these ladies, starting their own business and moving from one place to the next, and listening to the challenges and overcoming the challenges that they have. And it's just lovely. It just goes to show you can start your business at any time when you're ready. There's no expiring date. So long you're
Oh,
ready, you go. So which is brilliant listening to this woman. Thank you so much.
that's great, fantastic. It's always good when the host gets to, meet the attendees and gets to know who they are. Has anybody else got anything to add before we move to, I believe, is it Margaret to take over, Dr. Pat?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Has anybody else got anything to add? Anything to share? Any aha moments? No, not yet. Okay, I'll hand it over to you, Margaret, and feel free to take the floor.
Thank you so much. Thank you for that. Right, our next speaker to come and down, Dr. Lawanna Parker. Take the floor. Thank you.
Oh, wow. Thank you so much. It is such an honor and pleasure to be here with all of you and to get right into my talk this morning. My talk is about when you miss the red flags. I was fortunate. I married a man that I actually could talk to, which is good because we had so many differences. I got to tell you, when we first got married, I thought things were going to be great. And at the same time, I thought, this is not going to last. No way, because I am so set in my ways. Let's talk about some of those many things. And I know you've experienced some of what I'm going to share with you is just like me. You miss those red flags in your relationships. And those small gut feelings, the offhand comments, the inconsistent behavior, and the way your peace starts to shrink while your confusion grows. And yet we stay, we excuse, we hope. I've been there, and maybe you have too. When we miss the red flags, not because we're foolish, but because we're human, because love or the hope of it can make us see what we want instead of what is. And sometimes we're so afraid of being alone, we settle for being mistreated. We ignore the signs, thinking we can love someone into change. I mean, that used to be the thing. If you love a guy strong enough, you could change him. At least that's the way it was in my day. Today might be different. But one of the red flags that I missed, or I chose to miss, is that I knew this man loved to play cards. Not gambling. Thankfully, not gambling. How many of you know the game whist? Okay,
Yeah.
well, my husband, he had a friend. They were best friends, and they were good at playing the game of whist. Very few people like playing against them. It was always the challenge to see if we can beat them this time. It was like they could read what was in each other's hands. And they would get there and they play game after game, hour after hour. And I knew this before I married this man, but I thought things would probably change. We get married. We each brought a son into the marriage, so we got a family to take care of, and we need to be doing things with them. So I thought that was he would drop that, or at least break it down to occasionally. No such luck. Weekends, go play whist. At first, he took me with him. And then he decided, since I wasn't into it, and it was obvious I wasn't into it, he wouldn't bring me because I mean, I couldn't sit there hour after hour watching them play game after game and yelling at one another and up chucking beer, and oh my gosh, it was just terrible. And so he stopped taking me, but he continued to go to those games. And sometimes even on work nights, he and his friends would get together and they would play this game. Finally, I had had enough. After weeks of going through this, I decided, this doesn't make sense. I'm at home with the kids and he's out having fun. This does not make sense. So I decided maybe I should go out and do something and, have my own fun since I couldn't have it with him. But I am a one-man woman, okay? I don't go around with 2 and 3 different guys, especially since I was married. So what I did was I would sometimes say, I'm going to be going out with the girls. Do you think you could maybe stay home and watch the kids for me? And at first he thought that was funny. And I said, that's okay. I'll ask my mom to babysit. And I'd either end up going to the movies or I'd go with my sisters someplace. I did this for several weeks and I would stay late. And he started asking, where do you guys go? What are you doing when you're out there? It was getting to him. After a while, he cut down on those games. And then he got to where he didn't go at all because he wanted to know what I was doing. And so he just asked me one day, are you having an affair with somebody? I said, no, I'm married. And if you want to know what I'm doing, you need to go with me. That changed his habit. Now, I was fortunate, this doesn't work for everyone. Because I know there are some guys that are out there you can't do this with. You can find yourself in some serious trouble. You have to decide how you're going to handle something. For me, this worked. He stopped going to play those games. He started having them come to his house and they couldn't stay past 1 o'clock. There were no more all night games. And I didn't stop going. I kept going with my sisters or going to a movie or something like that because I didn't want him to think that he had, made me sit down. So I continued to do that for a while, and then I slacked up and we became like a regular family. And that didn't solve all our problems. I mean, there were other issues. Like he liked sports, I wasn't into sports.
Keep talking,
but
you got the clock. Go ahead.
Like sports and I could read. At any rate, the point of it is you have to have boundaries. You have to let people know where you stand. And when you see those red flags, please, whatever you do, address them before it's too late. Thank you.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Ladies, let me just jump in. Margaret, I want to jump in. We have time. We have time. So just stop the clock because everybody has come forward already, kind of went over a little bit, and it's okay. We have plenty of time. So we are on point. We're looking good. And I don't want y'all to have to cut the messages short because you all are saying some great stuff today. So Margaret, is that okay for you if we stop the clock? Because it's like they be right in the meat of it and then the thing goes off. But we thought we was going to have more speakers. And so y'all know God flips the script and that's a beautiful thing on our behalf. Is that okay with you, Margaret?
Yes, that is
Yes,
okay.
I do apologize for that because I know better. I got a little overexcited that time and I apologize. I know better than to go over. So,
No,
I-
that is okay. That is fine. Like Dr. Rogers says, we have got some time.
yeah.
A few speakers have not turned up, so we are okay. And I mean, the topics are fantastic. It'd be shame for us to stop halfway,
Yeah.
not finishing. So yeah. Well, thank you so much. We appreciate you. Okay, our next speaker is Gail Dixon. Come on down.
Hey, everybody. So I want to talk today about avoiding small talk. You know, this is a workshop and a summit all about dating and relationships. And often with dating, you think about having to make small talk. And that's not the kind of small talk that I'm going to talk about avoiding, because that small talk kind of greases the wheels, makes you comfortable with each other, starts to get the ball rolling in getting to know you. But what I'm going to talk about is avoiding the talk, the kinds of things that we can say to each other unconsciously in conversations that make ourselves or the other person look or feel small, and talk about what are the things that we can say instead. So here's your key to avoiding small talk. Instead of saying, that's nothing, and then adding your comment, say, wow, that sounds like it really affected you. Tell me more. Instead of saying, at least you, whatever, say, that sounds hard. This is one that I hear a lot with folks. Instead of saying, you think that's bad? Listen, what happened to me? Say, that sounds tough. I've been there. You know, we often, in our desire to comfort each other, want to tap down emotions when they arise in conversation. We want to keep things contained in a nice little box. So we might say things like, don't be so sensitive. And a good response, alternative response there might be, gosh, I didn't realize it landed that way. Go ahead, I'm listening. Here's one that puts my teeth on edge when somebody does it with me. And I suspect that I have been guilty, my own self, of saying it more than once in my life. When somebody says to you, you always do this, or you never do that. Feels crummy, doesn't it? It feels like I can't possibly be saying it always or never. So instead of those kinds of things, say, when this happened, or I'm not hearing you talk about when that happened. Bring the alternative, separate the always and never, and get to perhaps an alternative response. This one I learned when the relationship I'm talking about was with an irate toddler. Instead of saying, calm down, which of course generated exactly the opposite reaction, say, I want to understand what's going on. Help me see what you're feeling. Perhaps you've heard this once or twice. Instead of saying, you're overreacting, say, this seems really important to you. Let's talk it through. Instead of saying, if I were you, I'd do this, that famous unsolicited advice, say, that's a hard spot to be in. How are you handling it? Instead of saying, that's no big deal, say, it sounds like that really mattered. And instead of saying, you misunderstood me, try instead, I may not have said that clearly. Those little things can make the person who's hearing you feel as though you regard them as equal, and their feelings and emotions and the things that matter to them as equally important as your own, rather than diminishing them. And if you think about when someone says those kinds of things to you in conversation, how it stops you, how you feel like you suddenly get in the place of defending, explaining, or justifying, rather than the place of sharing, connecting, and building. The small things come from that place in us that's constantly trying to validate and verify our worth. And somehow the subconscious message that our worth has to be compared to someone else's worth, or that there's only so much worth and worthiness to go around. And so we have to get our own in. How much better would it be? How much stronger connections and relationships would we build if we came back with words that built bridges and made connections, rather than built divisions and made comparisons? So go ahead and make the small talk when you're starting a relationship, the talk that says, this is who I am. But when you're in a deeper, more meaningful, and more important relationship, make sure you avoid the kind of talk that makes your listener feel small. When you avoid small talk, you'll make big connections. And that's what will make us a bigger, brighter, happier world.
Awesome.
So,
Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you. That was awesome. That was awesome. Thank you. Appreciate you. Our next speaker is Jeanice. Is she here? Jeanice? Oh, thank you. Jeanice, come on down. It's your turn to speak. You're on mute.
Okay. Okay. You got me?
Yes, we can hear you now.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you, Jeanice.
All right. All right. Okay, so I'm Jeanice Cummings, and my topic is today is how domestic violence distorts love. And I kind of redid what I was going to talk about, because I'm going to talk about mostly what I've worked in, and because I've worked in domestic violence as well. I want you to take a moment and think about the word love. What image comes to your mind? Warmth, safety, passion, connection. Now imagine that same word, love, used as a weapon. Imagine if it was like walking on eggshells, like holding your breath in your home, like being trapped in a beautiful cage. In the 21st century, we redefined relationships through technology, media, social changing norms. One thing remains the same: Too many people are confusing control with love, silence with peace, and fear with loyalty. Today, we're going to have a real conversation about how domestic violence doesn't bruise bodies, it breaks hearts, poisons love, and shatters families inside and out. If we don't change the conversation, we continue the cycle. But if we are brave enough to face the truth, we can help have someone have the courage to break free. She was beautiful, successful, in love. And outside, her life looked picture perfect. Smiling selfies, weekend getaways, sweet text messages that said, I just worry about you. I love you so much. And behind closed doors, that love became too heavy. At first, it was subtle. He didn't like the way she dressed. Then it was the way she spoke to other people. Those were red flags. They were red flags dressed up in pretty decorations, but they still were red flags. And lots of times in relationships, we overlook that. We overlook it, because we care or we want to care or we don't want to be by ourselves. There are various reasons why we do that. But my experience working in the field of domestic violence is that we don't really date. Somebody say they like you, you get with them, and it's on. But we really don't date. And then most of the time, the other person tells you exactly what you want to hear because you've already told them what you like. You've given them a roadmap already, okay? And they're using that roadmap on you. They're using it on you, And that wasn't what I was going to talk about at first, but God always gives me what I need to talk about. Another thing that I find with a lot of women, including myself too, well, I didn't do this too much, is telling them exactly where you go. My mama stay here, my cousin stay here, my brother stay here, especially if you don't know them. We give out too much information. Who tells us why we got to be so truthful? You don't hear them saying nothing. Do you hear them saying something? I don't, okay? And that becomes a problem because he knows exactly where to find you at. There's no place that you can hide from him. I didn't have that particular problem, but I had other problems, and one of the big challenges is him love bombing you all the time and want to get in a relationship real fast. Don't want to wait. Let's get together. Let me move in, let me use your remote control. Let me have control. Well, sometimes women are so eager to give control over, even though they're independent, they got all this going on, but they still are susceptible. And a lot of it is because what we've heard in the past from growing up or in other relationships, we kind of get stuck with that. We really, really do. And part of the reason a lot of women stay is because they're confused because he's nice. He's not bad all the time. He's not slapping her in the face all the time. He's not being abusive all the time. Matter of fact, she'll tell you he's nice because that's how she feels, because that's what he's shown her. Okay. Mahatma Gandhi once said, where there's love, there's life. I'm going to explain domestic violence. It's a pattern of abusive behavior used by one partner to gain or maintain control over another partner. And I want to say, this works both ways. I'm not just talking about guys. Women are just as abusive. Guys just don't complain outward because they're embarrassed. Okay, so I'd like to give you this example right here. Ooh, boy, where'd I go? Okay. Oh, I lost me. I lost myself. Here we go. All right. Here we go. The women that show up and they act like everything's all right and everything's looking good. You can't really tell from the outside what's really going on. But they're living in hell. They really are. But they're not gonna show it outwardly. Because at first she stops going out, her laugh fades, her confidence shrinks. She begins walking on eggshells in her own house. Love becomes surveillance. Affections turns into interrogation. Protection has turned into possession. And even though there's no physical bruises to show the world, her spirit is battered and her heart is broken. Domestic violence is not just about this physical harm. It includes how we experience love, because love becomes fear, fear becomes constant, intimacy becomes manipulation, and care is used in one way. Well, I'm looking out for you. I got to look out for you, but it's still a form of control. It's kind of disguised. Okay, why do victims stay? Number one, they heard that it's better to have somebody than to not have nobody. Okay. But it's terrible to live in fear in your own house with the person that's supposed to love you, that's supposed to care about you, that's supposed to want the best for you. So my suggestion, based upon my experience, is to date, not just get in a relationship because he picked you, because most of the time that's what happens. He picked you. He gave you all these nice, good things about yourself that you told him you like. You like family, you're interested in family. Anything you want, he becomes. Ask more questions about him. Yeah, ask more questions about him. And when he starts telling you how that other woman did him, don't believe it. Do not believe it. You don't know that other woman. Why are you taking his word? And does he get along with his mother? That's very important. It tells you how he relates to women. We miss so many signs because we're looking for love so hard. And as someone already said before, take your time. That's all I want to say. That's kind of how I'm making my exit, is that take your time. It's no race. It's no race. You're the one that's racing. And believe half of what he says. So I believe that's all because family is supposed to heal, not harm. It means to build up, not break down. Oh, and I just wanted to add one thing. You got to put in some work, though. Okay, because I'm going to give you this passage. In the 5th chapter of John, I'll give you this. A man was crippled and he lay by the pool in Gethsemane for 38 years waiting for a miracle. When Jesus came to the man and asked him how long he had been in this condition, the man gave the length of time and then continued to tell Jesus how nobody came to put him in the pool, how everybody came before him. Get up and get up, get up and stand up and do what you need to do. Clean up the mess. Clean it up. You got to clean it up, so don't start feel sorry for yourself to that degree. Okay? All right. Okay. Well, I think that's all I got to say today, and I hope somebody got something out of it, because I've observed it, I've lived it, and I share it because I care. Thank you very much. I'm Jeanice Cummings, and thank you, everybody, for asking me to come speak today. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. The next speaker is Jasmine Ofori.
Thank you so much, Margaret. And on the lines of what Jeanice was saying, it requires effort. So the title of my talk is Connection Requires Effort. Why listening, respect, and communication make or break relationships. I met my daughter's father in the library. He stood out to me. He is, a handsome fella with a decent sense of style, nothing wacky, just a nice fella. I was in the last year of university conducting a survey for my dissertation because I was studying business management. And when the opportunity presented itself, I did not hesitate to introduce myself by way of getting him to fill in my survey. He took my questionnaire, I guess, out of politeness, but he did not fill it in. I was disappointed, to say the least, but I was gracious and I took the blow in the best way I knew how, thanked him and moved on. We met again the second time, and this time he said hello, and boy, was I thrilled. We spoke for a moment and parted ways after getting to know each other a little bit more. I graduated from university and got a job at the university employment department as a recruitment assistant, and then later on as an employability assistant. But we still hadn't connected. Lo and behold, I bumped into him at a local supermarket after a long time, and we finally exchanged numbers. We started getting to know each other more intimately and started dating. Things started to go south quickly when I failed to recognize, when I failed to recognize, and I failed to recognize three key ingredients to making a relationship work: deep listening, respect, communication. Relationships thrive or wither based on three invisible forces: deep listening that deciphers meaning that solidifies bonds, respect that transforms friction into fuel, and communication that builds bridges over faulty lines. These three elements work like oxygen and is vital for a long-lasting relationship. So why should you care about listening deeply? True listening isn't just catching words, it's decoding the symphony of pauses, the sighs, and shaky breaths. And when partners truly listen, they catch the unspoken, the hesitation before "I'm fine," the extra blink that signals hurt, the nervous laugh masking anxiety. This skill turns conflict into collaborations. A parent who notices their teen's clenched fist during a curfew debate may ask, "What's scaring you about coming home earlier?" instead of lecturing. Research shows couples who practice active listening have 40% fewer recurring arguments. So when it's missing, when deep listening is missing, conversations become, transactional. A wife vents about work stress, but her partner interrupts with, "Just quit then," missing her need for validation, not solutions. Resentment builds like plaque, hardening into emotional distance, and partners start living parallel lives, sharing a bed, but not their fears. Respect is the glue that holds differences together. Respect isn't about liking every choice. It's about honoring someone's right to exist differently. Imagine partners debating vacation plans. One craves adventure hikes, the other wants beach lounging. Respectful couples say, let's do both. Your joy matters as much as mine. This mindset transforms clashes into curiosity. A 2024 study found that relationships with high mutual respect recover from disagreements 3 times faster. When it's missing, contempt creeps in. Eye rolls replace eye contact. A husband mocks his partner's career shift. You'll fail like last time. Such jabs erode self-worth. Partners become adversaries, keeping score of faults. Children in these environments often mimic behaviors and follow suit. So effective communication seals the deal. Healthy communication is less about eloquence and more about emotional translation. It's saying, when you cancel plans, I feel disposable, instead of, you're so flaky. Couples who master this navigate storms. Take new parents, for example. I'm drowning at 3 a.m. feedings. Can we split shifts? Invites teamwork, while you never help sparks defensiveness. The Gottman Institute notes that repair attempts like humor or touch save 69% of tense moments. So when communication is missing, silence becomes a weapon. A wife stops mentioning her loneliness, a husband hides his burnout, unexpressed needs curdle into passive aggression, forgotten birthdays, sarcastic jokes, partners orbit around each other like distant planets, communicating through chores list and calendar alerts. And unfortunately, affairs often bloom in this emotional vacuum. So without these key ingredients, relationships crumble in predictable stages. So there's misinterpretation, a tired whatever can also be translated as indifference. Isolation, partners stop sharing vulnerabilities because they fear judgment. And there's erosion. So inside jokes in a relationship fade and plans shrink to weekly groceries, and there's a breakdown. So one text, like, we need to talk, the modern death strike. So what am I trying to say to you? I'm saying that when deep listening, respect, and clear communication is present, these factors create something miraculous, a shared language. The toddler who says, mama's eyes get small when, she's sad, learns emotional literacy. And the elderly couple finishing each other's sentences showcases decades of harmonization. Relationships aren't about avoiding storms, they're about building boats sturdy enough to dance in the rain. I learned a lot from our relationship. Something beautiful came out of that, which was the birth of my daughter, who has redefined the way I see love and connection. It also gave me opportunities to tackle areas I was failing at that required improvement. So, ladies, connection isn't found, it's forged. One vulnerable word, one honored difference, one truth-filled conversation at a time. My name is Jasmine Ofori from the United Kingdom. I am the founder of Jew Digital, and Jew Digital is a growth partner, not just a vendor. We resonate deeply with purpose-driven entrepreneurs. We offer personalized quality experience that addresses your specific pain point. We are a digital marketing agency assisting coaches, consultants, event hosts, and businesses to gain visibility so they can generate leads using customized online marketing strategies. So if you'd like to learn more, feel free to reach out to me. It's calendly.com/Jew Digital. I'll leave the details in the chat. Thank you all for listening, and I hope you found it valuable. Thank you.
Yay, that's fantastic. Thank you. Thank you so much. I definitely did. Thank you. It's fantastic, phenomenal. Our next speaker is Grace. Grace Barkwell. Come on down, Grace. And Grace is going to talk about biblical dating. Come on down, Grace.
Thank you. Thank you, Margaret. We're talking about biblical dating. So maybe you got it wrong the first time, but if you're going to start dating again, let's figure out how we can have a better outcome. Well, dating experiences can be funny, like the time my university boyfriend introduced me to his pet cockroaches. Dating itself is a serious business. When you're ready to date, this means that you're ready to consider marriage, biblically. It is being the right person, as was spoken by some of our other speakers, rather than finding the right person. Communication is key, as we were told by Jasmine, but what is the first thing on which you focus? You start with the heart. Do they have a heart for God? Are they dedicated to Jesus Christ? Start with who this person is on the inside, in their inner soul. Are you both eager to follow Christ at the same pace? Is the man ready to provide and protect, love, and lead spiritually? Is the woman ready to nurture, support, and submit to the man as the spiritual leader? Set up physical boundaries. Song of Songs in the Old Testament, chapter 8, verse 4 says, I charge you, O daughters of Jerusalem, do not stir up or awaken love until it pleases. Timing must be considered intellectually, not emotionally. Why? Why? Because 1 Thessalonians 4:3 says, for this is the will of God, your sanctification, that you should abstain from sexual immorality. Any sexual act that is outside of the context of marriage is sexual immorality. You must do everything you can to keep your relationship holy and undefiled before God. It's not easy, but it will be worth it. There are also physical reasons too regarding chemical reactions in your brain. Romans 13:14 says, but put on the Lord Jesus Christ and make no provision for the flesh to fulfill its lusts. When you get to know each other emotionally, get rid of anything in your life that makes it easier to sin, or that puts you in a place that makes it easier for you to sin. It would be wise and advantageous for you to keep yourself untainted from the guilt and shame that comes from embracing sin. Live life, not fantasy. 2 Timothy 2, verses 3 and 4 says, you therefore must endure hardship as a good soldier of Jesus Christ. No one engaged in warfare entangles himself with the affairs of this life, that he may please him who enlisted him as a soldier. Is the Christian life all smiles and hugs? No. The Bible likens it to war, with struggles, hardships, casualties, and losses. As you're dating, remember that real life can be difficult. You are called to serve one another. Typical dating is unrealistic, especially when you go to the movie theater, fancy restaurant that's very expensive, an amusement park or a theater. Real life requires hard work and practical activities, such as grocery shopping, which needs to be done on a regular basis. Do go to church together. Make sure that you want to go to the same church. My husband and I, we did choose a different church from where we met, but we both agreed on it. And the church that you choose may have fun social activities like bowling or cricket or croquet or roller skating that you can do with groups together, and you can still get to know one another. Find a community service that you can do together, like maybe feeding the less fortunate or something that you can work together on, and you can still talk to one another, but you are doing something for your community together. Or maybe going on a mission trip with your pastors and seeing how the other half of the world lives. It will bring you together, these experiences, and you'll be with your pastors. Look at your schedule and see what you regularly do, like cooking, cleaning, and laundry. Do these together to see what it feels like to do them, those everyday things together. And you may even want to plant a vegetable garden together, but do part ways before it's time to sleep. I'm not saying that the entertaining activities are wrong that I mentioned. Just keep them to a minimum. We all love a vacation from the mundane sometime. Love God more than your partner. Mark 12, verse 30 says, "And you shall love the Lord your God with all your soul, with all your mind, with all your strength. This is the first commandment." Have this at the forefront of your mind, that you love God more than everyone and everything. Let God lead your relationship. Read the Bible and pray, both as an individual and together on top of your church time. You will need God's help, His leading, His wisdom, His encouragement, and His support as you date and develop an emotional and spiritual bond with each other. You are called to serve one another in love, as I have previously said. Galatians 5:13 says, "For brothers and sisters, you have been called unto liberty, which is freedom. Only do not use that liberty, your freedom, to indulge in the flesh. Rather, serve one another in humble love." So walk by the guidance of the Holy Spirit that's in your heart, so that you both remain holy and pure before God. Remember that the fruit of the Holy Spirit is love, joy, peace, tolerance, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. This is what needs to be in you, and this is what you also need to see in your potential spouse, in your date. Once you know that God has put you together, get engaged and leave enough time between the engagement and the wedding to make plans for your special day where you commit to one another by making your marriage vows to one another before God, before your family and your friends. Excuse me. I've researched several good Christian dating websites and can also recommend products that will keeping you healthy, although I have been coughing because I've been talking too much. Contact me. I've got a list of online dating subjects like online Christian dating, Christian Cupid, meeting Christian singles, and the Christian Cafe. So you can contact me. I put my information in the contact and for health products too. So I will just end it there. And on to the next speaker.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Grace. That is absolutely wonderful. We are supposed to have a breakout, but what I thought with Dr. Rogers, we suggest we just carry on and get the speakers to speak. And then later on, we can give you the opportunity as well to kind of promote. Is that okay, everyone? Yes. Thank you so much. Now, our next speaker, none other than Dr. Patricia Rogers. And I can't wait for this topic. Thank you. Come on down, Dr. Patricia Rogers.
Okay, great. Thank you, thank you, thank you for this opportunity, Margaret. And I am going to go ahead and share my screen and start my presentation. Lust versus love. Lust versus love. I'm going to share with you the truth about lasting connections. So, what really builds real relationships? Let that sink in. Are they built on love or are they built on lust? Let me inform you all that lust is not the enemy, but it is not love either. I've learned both through my own life and watching the stories of others unfold that confusing lust for love can lead us into relationships that feel super electric. But guess what? They burn out real fast. So today, I want to talk about the difference between lust and love and why understanding that difference can change everything. It can change your relationships, your choices, and even your sense of self-worth. Lust is the craving for a body. Love is the craving for a soul. Love is like a friendship caught on fire. And love is the magician that pulls man out of his own hat. We start with a question. Have you ever met someone and felt an instant spark? Put the letter S in the chat. I'm talking about the heart racing kind of feeling, and you can't think straight kind of energy. The butterflies in your stomach. Back in the day, it was the late night phone calls. Y'all know what I mean. Things have changed, and in the 21st century, we have the late night text messages. Put an M in the chat if you're guilty of that. The songs that you listen to repeatedly that reminds you about how they made you feel. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I hate to bust your bubble, but that, my friend, is lust. So what is lust? Let's be honest. Lust is exciting. It's desire on fire. It's dopamine, adrenaline, oxytocin. Lust, ladies and gentlemen, is our brain throwing a party. Lust focuses on fantasy, not on foundation of the relationship. Lust is driven by the chase. And here's the tricky part, y'all. Lust often shows up disguised looking like love. Ladies and gentlemen, lust whispers sweet nothings. Lust will tell you that this is it, or that this is the one. Lust will tell you that you finally found your soulmate. Lust is built on an illusion, and lust is the chemistry that is screaming for more. Ladies and gentlemen, although chemistry can spark an attraction, it cannot sustain a true connection. Make no mistake, ladies and gentlemen, that is the trap of lust. Lust is addictive and it thrives on hope. Lust is an emotional high and it is only temporary. So where did the magic go? Lust thrives on what's possible, not on what's proven. Lust wants more of the feeling, not necessarily more of the person. And unfortunately, some people build entire relationships on that one spark alone until they wake up one day next to someone they barely even know, wondering, where in the world did the magic go? What is love? So now let's talk about love. Not the fairy tale version, not the Hollywood drama. I mean real grounded, powerful love. Love is not just a feeling. Love is a commitment that involves trust and growth. Love is a daily choice, not just a feeling. Love sees the real you, and love sticks and stays. Love brings peace, not panic. Love sees you when you're sick, grumpy, broke, bad breath and all. Love still says, I am not going anywhere. Ladies and gentlemen, love is not always sexy or cinematic. But I can guarantee you one thing, and that is that if it is true love, then you are in a safe place. Love keeps promises. Love deepens and grows long after the butterflies have settled. That's huge, ladies and gentlemen. So why do we confuse the two? Well, I'm going to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, one reason is because we live in a culture that glorifies instant gratification. We're trained to believe that if someone makes our heart race, they might just be the one. Moving fast, ladies and gentlemen, is not proof of substance. Let's be real. We accept lust because it helps us to avoid the vulnerability that the love reveals. Lust gives you dopamine hits, and love requires emotional nakedness, and that's not just in the physical. Love says, let me show you the parts I usually hide. And lust says, let me dazzle you with my highlight reel. Ladies and gentlemen, real growth begins when we stay because it's real, not because it feels good. That's where love is tested and our character is revealed. What lasting connections take? So my question then is, How do we move from lust to love? Let me offer you 3 quick shifts. Number 1, curiosity over chemistry. Ask yourself, do I know this person? Or do I just like how they make me feel? Get curious about their values. Number 2, time always reveals truth. Lust speaks quickly, but love unfolds slowly. Wait long enough to see who someone becomes after the infatuation has faded. Number 3, choose growth over gratification. Love will stretch you. It will confront your ego, but it will also heal you in ways that lust never could. And ladies and gentlemen, this applies to all relationships, romantic, platonic, and even the love that we have for ourselves. Lust versus covetousness. Lust and covetousness are both powerful desires that, while different in focus, share a common spiritual root. They both reflect a longing for something or someone that is not rightfully yours. I wanted to bring this into the business realm and show you how the word lust correlates with the word covetousness in business. Both behaviors are often driven by selfishness, lack of contentment, and a misalignment with God's will. And that's important. This chart shows you how those two words correlate in the personal life as well as in the business arena. Lust is an intense craving for sexual gratification, often outside the bounds of God's divine. Covetousness is a greedy desire for possession, status, or relationships that belongs to someone else. Lust is primarily physical or emotional. Covetousness is primarily material or relational. Lust centers on using someone for pleasure, and on the other hand, covetousness centers on wanting what others have, often leading to jealousy. And I thought that was so important to bring this together in the spiritual realm as well as in our business arena and in our personal life. Words are powerful. And if we want to receive all of the blessings and the good thing that God has in store for each and every one of us, we must monitor our behaviors. Because when we think that they're not showing and they're not sticking out, I have news for you. It shows. It shows. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for allowing me to share. And I hope that I've said something to inspire you and educate you so that you can move forward on this life's journey. But most importantly, ladies and gentlemen, let's stop chasing sparks and start building fires that will last a lifetime. And give it up, ladies and gentlemen. Give it up. Give it up. I'm taking mine. I'm taking mine. And I'm taking mine because God gave me that message. And that message comes to me first. Been there, done that, got a t-shirt for it. Domestic violence, drinking and partying and all that stuff. Picking the wrong man or allowing the wrong man to pick me, however you want to put it. My picker has always been bad. Just a bad picker. And it goes back to what Grace said. I came up in the church. I knew better, but I didn't know better. Why? Because the church just told me don't. Well, when you tell people don't, they're going to do it. So I heard on this platform today about different approaches of getting those messages across so that people will be able to receive them. But I tell you this too. It's all right that they didn't really break it down like it probably could have been broke down. And then me being in the last of 8 children, my mom, one mom, and, no father figure in the house, 5 brothers. I'm the last of 8. They didn't have time to hang out with me. They didn't have time for me because I went in their generation. I went in their league. So I fell in the generation that came up when I was coming, who partied, who went out to party, who drank, who had sex. Yeah, we did that too. Margaret, you can cut that part out. Anyway, we gonna have to cut this video. Because see, this ain't me talking right now, because this one part of my script. But when God said let it go, I'm gonna let it go. Because somebody somewhere may just need to hear it. And I say this, I'm proud to say this today, because I am not who I used to be, because I was looking for love in all the wrong places, getting caught up with the wrong people, could have been ended up 6 feet under, not to mention could have had life in prison. I hung out with the worst of the worst, but I wanted to be accepted. But I thank God that when I did realize and make that connection with God after just ignoring him for all those years, when I really realized that everything I was doing, that crap wasn't working. And then guess what? My mama had passed and gone on. I used to could call mama and say, Mama. And I tell her what happened. That's the only time I shared my business with her was when I got in trouble. But she was so loving and forgiving when I thought I was going to get a beating. I didn't get the beating. And she would, well, I wasn't living at the home either at that time. But what she would tell, when I used to call my mom and tell her stuff that I had gotten into and I was afraid of whatever the case was of the outcome, when my mother said to me, she said, baby, she said, mama's praying for you. Boy, when my mama would say that, because my mama was an evangelist in the church, my whole family's in the church and all that, we just came up in the church, a lot of gifts, talents, and all that stuff. But when my mother said to me, when I would call her in times of trouble, when she said to me, baby, mama's praying for you. That's all I needed. And I knew that whatever I was going through, it was going to be all right. Well, let me tell you what happened, y'all. A day came, mama wasn't there. I couldn't call mama no more. And that's when I realized, I got to make my own connection now. And I'm going in, y'all. Can I go in? Can I go in? I'm going in. When I made that connection with God, I mean really made that connection with him, I knew then he loved me just the way I am. She talked about it earlier today, Medge. We're marvelously, wonderfully, beautifully made. I'm enough. I'm enough. When I realize I'm enough, I'm like, I've been running behind all these people, allowed all this crap in my world trying to help make me whole, and whole was already inside of me. I ain't mad at y'all. I'm good. I'm good because I know that everything that I do, everything that I ask God for, he's my father, he's my husband, he's my brother, he's my mother, he's everything to me. I had to learn that, and I wouldn't trade it for the world, y'all. I wouldn't trade it for the world. And I know Grace preached today. Yeah, Grace, that's the kind of stuff I used to hear, don't. But you know what? The Bible is right all day long. When we do these things that takes us out of God's will, we will pay the consequences. And I'm going to share this. I used to go out when I used to in high school stuff and go partying and all that, even after high school, whatever. And I still was so deeply rooted in church. Every Sunday we in church, Wednesday night, Bible study, whatever. And every Sunday came to a point in my life that I realized when I went out with my boyfriend, if you will, and we go out, I'm just going to say it like it is. I'm trying to fix it up. I'm just going to say it. When the night, on Saturday nights when I had sex, I go to church Sunday. Nobody knew I had sex but me. But one day I had to come to the realization because when the pastor get up and start talking and the missionaries are speaking, the word was beat me up. It was beat me up because I'm chosen. I wanted to beat me up. I'm thankful today that it did beat me up. And I realized I would always run to the altar and get prayer because of the conviction The conviction, I didn't want to do that. I wanted to be loved. Yeah, I wanted to be married, but it wasn't working that way. So I would fall into whatever I fell into, get up in church the next morning. God drew me to the office. I'm crying and snotting and carrying on. And God forgive me for me to go right back out there another time and do it again. And one day, I came to my senses. I said, you know what? I do the wrong. He do the wrong. But I'm the only one in church asking for God to forgive me. They couldn't ask for forgiveness. They couldn't be convicted like I was being convicted because they wasn't going to church. Hello? And one day, and I'm going to close on this. One day, God spoke to me. And he told me, because what I did was somebody said it. Jeanice said it. I heard you. She said, you tell them everything. Well, stop telling them all your business. You're right, Jeanice. I used to do that. When you get through telling the man all of what the other previous one did to you, he gonna do it too. Oh, I had a wake-up call. I've had a lot of wake-up calls. Everything I say today, I just said, I'm just so grateful. I said with conviction because I'm free. I'm free. And that was the first message today. Free to love. Free to love who? Me, myself, and y'all. But my point is, one day God spoke to me, and that really, really just put the icing on the cake. Because the guys I dated, whenever I dated, and I've been married 3 times, tried 3 times, none of them didn't work. Because I married for the wrong reasons. Because, oh, well, if we're going to have sex, we got to get married. What kind of mess is that? And they stupid enough, they did it. But it wasn't built on no foundation. So it didn't last. So my point is this. One day God spoke to me. And he said, every time you allow a man to touch you, he's not laughing at you. He's laughing at me. Why? Because everything, it's always God. Y'all hear me? Everything God, everything God, everything God. Y'all, that's all I know. Because it works. But I was betraying him. I was using him. I was abusing him. And God had to let me know that's every time they touch you, they're not hurting you, they're hurting me. They're laughing at me because you talk about me. You lift me up and they're competing against me. Somebody talked about competition on the platform. Those men, they was competing, and I'm going in. Doc, you got to cut it out, cut this part out. Yeah, and when they get the goods, y'all know the rest of the story. They really start acting stupid. And I remember one time I heard somebody say, I read somewhere where it say you should wait at least 3 months. I heard somebody on the platform talk about waiting. And so back in the day, I tried that. I did that about 3 times. Told the guy, well, no, we're not having sex. We have to wait at least 3 months. Them guys told me I must have been out of my mind. But of course, having said that, I'm going in, y'all. You can cut this out too. They wasn't going to get none anyway because I ain't like the way they responded. How about that? How about that? You don't want to wait? You don't want to wait on me? So as life has gone in my years, all these years to come, I just had a birthday on the 5th, Saturday, and we had a book launch. But my point is, so I'm not afraid to tell my age. I'm 69 years old. Young, old, but I'm all that. I'm good. I ain't got no problem with the age because you know what? The Bible done told me, just be ready. So that's all. Just have my house in order and be ready. But my point is this. People don't want to wait on you. Then, so like I said, but that's the way of the world. And we have conditioned ourselves to believe that what the world has standards that they set up, but those standards are not God's standards, not for Dr. Patricia Rogers. My daughter told me a couple of times, Mama, you need to get out. You need to start dating. I say, dating who, what? For me to date somebody, things don't go right, and then I got a bullet in my head. That's what's going on today. They don't even break up anymore. They don't even break up. They just kill each other, throw them in the woods or in a river somewhere. Who does that? But God is good to me. I didn't mean to say all of that. But you know what? I did know I had a little bit of time left on the clock. And you know what? When God says speak, I don't care what you say about me. I don't care what you think about me. Because one thing I do know, I got a whole lot of people that love me. And I just want you, don't look at the messenger. Take the word, and let it bless you. That's my story. I'm sticking to it. And in my closing, 1 Corinthians 13:13 says, and now these three remain: faith, hope, love. But the greatest, and I'm full, y'all, because everything I've done in these 11 some years on this entrepreneurship, my entrepreneurship journey trip, my heart has been broken by women, people that you wanted to help, people that you thought loved you, but they was only there to watch you. They hate you, but they copy your stuff. I ain't mad at them, but I learned God is still working on me. He's always working on me. I said, I'm not going to fight with these people. If they don't want to stick and stay, bye. Have a good day. Because everybody can't go where God is taking me. But some people go along just for the ride, not knowing that God sees your heart. So when I brought that in about covetousness, y'all be mindful how you treat people. Because the same people you watching trying to mimic, you wondering why they got it so good. You wondering why because they love the Lord, number one, and they treat you right no matter how you treat them. That's my story. The greatest of these, ladies and gentlemen, is love. I'm Dr. Patricia Rogers, visibility strategist. And I am the CEO, because God said so, of Unity and Service. Where people, we can't do nothing without each other. Where people, Margaret, you put on a good show today. I feel the anointing of God, and for that, I'm grateful. And thank all of you. Again, where people need people. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Wow, wow, wow. Thank you so much. The message is powerful, it's rich. I think the whole event, your theme, where you spoke, just wrapped it around, literally wrapped it around. Thank you so much. Truly blessed and having you in my life and speaking. The words you spoke is truly needed. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. Right, our next speaker is Jackie Williams. Jackie Williams.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jackie. Come on down, Jackie.
So my name is Jackie Williams. I am a passionate and creative purposeful artist. I am on the board for Fem City, and I work for Holistic Healing and Wellness Center for marketing. And I help to work alongside Medge. Now, let's get on to my topic of today. So, you are not required to shrink to be loved. I want to talk about something that many of us quietly struggle with, and how do we stay true to ourselves while nurturing the relationships that matter most to us. The balance between self-empowerment and relationships. See, we are always trying to be conflicting of whether or not we should be following our hearts or following our mind. But the real reality is that we don't have to choose. There is a balance for both. So, what is self-empowerment? Self-empowerment is making conscious choices to take advantage of your life. It involves confidence and self-awareness and growth. And why it matters is without self-empowerment, we risk losing ourselves in others people's expectations or approvals. And making the choices are huge between whether that be your career, someone else's career, just figuring out a way to lift yourself up. This could be for your children, your parents. Now, self-empowerment isn't about being selfish, though. It's being self-aware of what you want to do in your life, because we tend to forget who we are when we are putting ourselves on the line for our families, our friends, our children, our spouses, but we forget to take care of ourselves. And we might have persevered at one point in our lives to reach our goals, but then something comes up and then no longer you are important. And that was not something that someone else maybe have told you, but you had told yourself. Relationships require presence and flexibility. Healthy relationships are based upon interdependence, not control or dependence, as well as active listening, compromise, and emotional presence. And this is from both parties. The balance between your relationship is not going to be one that's met only on one side. You can't be trying to please the other person solely because you will become emotionally drained. You will find that you will become more irritable when they are not doing things that you are contributing to. This could be financials. This could be just quality time in general, going out of your way to leave work early, to have more time with your spouse, have date nights, spend more time with your children, or even having where your spouse watches your children while you are able to go out. It doesn't always require you to be together. Empowerment means knowing your values, not clinging to control. It's about showing up authentically and not always being right. You have to recognize how you are not always going to be right in your relationships, and that you have to be open to your significant other onto what they're saying. If you are not the only one in the relationship, but you have to be aware that you can stand your ground and realize you have things that are right. And even if they are trying to tell you that you're doing something wrong, that does not necessarily make it wrong. It might make it who you are. And as previously said, is that not everyone can change their spouse. That's okay. And maybe they're not meant for you, but at the same time, you need to be self-aware of that. So you have the ability to grow. And then just because you're not connecting with your significant other doesn't mean that they're not a good person. Empowerment means standing firm in who you are while staying open to connection. Recognizing who you are. So navigating the tension involves common struggles. For instance, one partner is growing faster than the other. This can be seen with education. This can be seen with careers. One partner might be looking to reach out more into doing more opportunities, while the other is sitting back and you're kind of just wondering what they're willing to do for their future when you're contributing so much because you care so much, because you're so passionate for yourself and that you want to see that on them. And what's a mistake that sometimes happens is sometimes you will silence yourself in order to keep the peace. But in reality, you need to talk to your partner or your significant other or your friends or your family and convey what you're really feeling. Because a lot of the time when we are feeling some sort of overwhelming emotion, it's because we are keeping it pent inside. We need to get that feeling out. We shouldn't be trying to over-adapt to or overcompensate for others, but be able to work in harmony with them. Some reflection questions is like, have you ever shrunk to avoid conflict? Have you ever tried to outgrow certain dynamics? We have to lift each other up so we both can rise. So some practical strategies for balance that can just be applied broadly for many relationships is, for instance, setting clear boundaries, knowing what's negotiable and what's not. This can be with quality time. This could be with alone time. This can be with work. This can be with your children. Talk about what you expect from your partner and don't try to take it all on once. You need to practice self-reflection and ask regularly if you're honoring yourself and your relationship at the same time. Are there points where you feel your relationship is unbalanced? You have to choose to align, not to approve, and seek a relationship where your growth is celebrated and not feared. when you have conflicts and you're able to overcome those are emotional growth stones. It really helps to bond you and your significant other to a different level. And you will realize as you're able to communicate more and grow with your partner, that you and your partner, if you're willing to change, will enjoy your relationship together and really be in harmony. To achieve all of those, it really just simply requires communication. Now, of course, some partners are not as willing to listen to you as others would. And unfortunately, that might try to dampen your power, but at that point, you have to choose between yourself and them. Empowerment includes being able to express your needs without guilt. So, finally, empowerment and relationships aren't in conflict. They strengthen each other when balanced with care. You have to be the one because you're in this world, and you have to be the one who wants to be you, who wants to be with you. I represent Dr. Medge, and a lot of what she offers are some couples counseling, relationship, and retreats. We have some upcoming retreats that I know many couples will benefit from getting away and reconnecting, because when faced with the stress of every day, you tend to forget why you love each other so much. So I'm going to put some links in the chat, and I encourage you to check out Dr. Medge's work and encourage you to look over my work as an artist. And thank you for today.
Come on, come on, come on. Let's give us some energy. Thank you. Woo-hoo. Thank you. Brilliant
Awesome.
message. Thank you. Well done. Thank you. Thank you. Our next speaker is Michelle Clarkson.
All right.
Michelle Clarkson.
All
Are you here, Michelle? Come on down.
Come on
All righty,
down.
thank you. And I'm Michelle Clarkson. I'm a women's empowerment coach, motivational speaker, and founder of Meaningful Moments of Power, a movement to help women unlock their voice, build confidence, and lead boldly by focusing on changing the mindset. I believe that every woman deserves to be seen, heard, and powerful in every space she walks into. So I'm just so excited to have the opportunity to talk to you all for a few minutes. And my topic today is I am the sign to a fulfilled relationship where self-love and confidence are the keys that you need in having a healthy relationship. Because everybody wants love, but let's be real. Do you love yourself first? And we've had a lot of people touch on self-love. So, again, do you love yourself first? Because if not, you'll find yourself accepting attention and calling it love. Confidence starts with self-love, period. So I want to tell you all a little bit about my story and how I've had to rebuild myself. When I was in college, I found that what I thought was my first one true love, and got into this relationship and ended up in a relationship that was controlling, that turned into an abusive relationship. And as a result, my self-esteem, well, what was that? There was no self-esteem. The self-love, what was that? There was no self-love, because if there was, I would have never allowed something like that to happen. So after finally being able to break free from that mental and physical abuse, the only good thing that came from that relationship was we had a child. So I had a beautiful daughter. But then the one thing I had to do from there was rebuild myself, because I knew that I didn't want my daughter to have to deal with the things that I dealt with. So fast forward, move along. I've rebuilt myself, fallen in love with myself, regained my self-esteem. Then I meet this man, just swooped me off my feet, fell in love, ended up getting married, was in a wonderful marriage, and then I was just blindsided by infidelity by my ex-husband and ended up in divorce. So here I am, different season, same lesson. and I'm having to rebuild myself all over again. I didn't walk away whole, I walked away broken. But the woman I was meant to be, she was on the other side of that pain. And I'm so thankful for all of that pain that I went through, because that's when the shift happened. The shift, and that shift of where does the confidence come from? Why do you need confidence in your relationships? Because confidence, it didn't come from compliments. It came from truth, from healing and real growth. And one thing that we always have to do is we have to take a step back and we have to say and take accountability, and what role did you play in this happening? Because even though bad things can happen, there are certain things that we've done for those bad things to happen. It may have been you allowed yourself to stay in a relationship longer than you needed to, like Dr. Patricia said, picking the wrong people, not loving yourself, not having that self-love. So I had to step back and answer those questions to myself and heal so that I could really have that growth. And then I had to say, who am I when nobody's clapping? Once I got divorced, all I could resonate with was all I am was a wife and a mother. That's all that I knew myself to be. But I knew that I had so much more inside of me that I wanted to be, as far as career goals, aspirations, just within myself, health goals, and things like that. So I had to do the work to fall in love with myself. And I had a friend tell me before, you have to learn how to date yourself. And at that time, I had no idea what that meant. But really, being able to date yourself is how you can fall in love with yourself. Feeling good about yourself, that you're going to take yourself out to lunch or take yourself to a movie, focusing on that self-care and making that a priority. And those are things today that are non-negotiable. Myself and my self-care, there's nothing that I let get in front of that, because I know that when you look good, you feel good. And so those little things that you do to make yourself feel better, you have to continue doing those, because life is always going to be life and lifing along. And there's going to be something that pops up that tests your self-esteem, your self-love, your mindset, and you just have to remain positive and know who you are. And so as I started growing and building that confidence, I had to start falling in love with everything about me. Those things that I didn't like, the flaws, stretch marks, my soft side, and even that strong side that sometimes can be very intimidating to a man. But this is who I am. So I had to fall in love with every piece of myself. And when you start falling in love with yourself, suddenly you get allergic to all those things that are nonsense. It's like, no, not having that, not dealing with that. And so when we think about self-love, it's like, why is self-love so important to have a healthy relationship? Because the self-love that you have for yourself, that's love that'll show in your professional relationships, your personal relationships. But when you love yourself, boundaries, oh, they come so easy. I have no problem saying no. I have no problem letting someone know why we're not going to do something. When I'm in the workplace, I have no problem giving pushback when things don't align with the goals or the integrity that you may have. So being able to establish and set boundaries are so key, but it only comes from when you learn to love yourself. Those red flags, they look like stop signs. Once you fall in love with yourself and you have that self-love and confidence in who you are and what you're willing to deal with, because if you don't embrace having the ability to set those boundaries, pay attention to the red flags, you'll end up settling. And I've heard it said today earlier by someone else, and I can't remember who, but when you stop auditioning, you figure out that you are the main event. You are the main event every day, all day. So there's no need to audition for anybody. I'm coming as the star. So when you have self-love, that disrespect just doesn't land the same anymore. You see it and you exit stage left. No need for a dramatic goodbye. It's just like you know what you deserve and you know your worth. When you love yourself, you have to be willing to love yourself enough to walk away from things that do not value and appreciate you, whether it's a relationship, whether it's a job where you have a manager that doesn't see the value that you bring to the table. You have to be willing to walk away from those things that don't value you. And then as you focus on that self-love, like I said, that breeds the confidence. Once you have confidence in yourself, you love yourself more than anything else. And as a mother, my children mean everything to me, but I love myself more than anything because I'm all that I have. They're grown now, and my son just graduated from college. So in a little bit, he's going to be out of the house, starting his own life. And then once again, it's just back to Michelle being by herself. So I have to love myself, love the things that I'm engaged in so that I can continue to have a happy and healthy life, thriving. And confidence, one of the main things that it does is it protects your peace. And that's one thing, in this era today, with social media, that's all you hear and see everywhere is protecting your peace. But I think that a lot of times people just throw that out there as the buzzword, and they really don't even know what protecting your peace means. Because if more people were protecting their peace, we wouldn't have relationships that are so broken, people that don't have the self-esteem and self-love in themselves. So, protecting your peace is so key. And what it does is when you teach people how to treat you, you're in full control of how things will go in any relationship that you have, which goes back to being able to set boundaries and being able to say no and not having a problem and feeling unapologetically about the fact that you said no or you had to push back on something because you mean the most amount about anything. So you matter most in anything that you do. So the right person will always be drawn to your light and not intimidated by it. Like I said, I had to fall in love with myself and that strong side because sometimes that can be intimidating when you don't have a problem being able to let someone know how their actions made you feel. It's called keeping people accountable. But one thing that you always have to remember is that you are the prize. You have to say it, you have to believe it, and you have to walk it. Because if you're not doing those things, then why is anybody else going to believe that you're the prize? Because when you don't believe it, that's when you continue to audition for shows that you shouldn't even be playing a role in. So as I close today, the one thing that I want to leave with you is that love in the 21st century, it shouldn't feel like pressure. It should feel like peace. It should feel like happiness, where you're comfortable to be you, your authentic self, every day around anyone, not just when someone comes over or what have you, but being able to feel the peace that you bring. But it starts with you. When you love yourself, you raise your standards, and that's when the right people will find you. So if I can leave you with anything today, just remember that fall in love with yourself first, and the rest will follow. Thank you for the opportunity to speak with you all today.
Ooh, awesome, awesome,
Wow.
awesome. Woo, 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 woo. Come on, y'all,
Oof.
wave your hand in the air.
Yes, fantastic. The
Mhm.
message is absolutely powerful. Thank you so much, you speakers. We got one more speaker, our last speaker. Peggy, are you here with us?
Yes, I am. I
Thank,
am.
thank you, thank you. Take the floor, Peggy, take the floor. And welcome.
Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody. In fact, I've just joined and I was so inspired by the last speakers, especially from Dr. Pat. So today we are talking about love and relationship in the 21st century. But I would like to begin by telling you a little story. Once upon a time, there was a very beautiful, very naive, and very submissive girl. And all she wanted to do was to get married, have children, and that's it. Well,
At the age of 19, she finally got a husband. And in fact, she got married without even understanding what marriage was all about. And then she had 3 beautiful children. Everything was going smoothly. She honored her husband. She depended on her husband for everything. You know, she gave away her dignity. She gave away her voice. She gave away even herself or her right as a woman. On the other hand, the husband at first was loving, was kind, but then that love started chipping away into hatred. And by the time you knew it, everything had fallen apart. The man did not want the woman anymore. Why? Because she didn't feel wanted anymore. And the man did not feel she needed the woman anymore. And so, what did the woman do? What was her crime? The only crime was she wanted to be a submissive woman. She wanted to be a good mother. She wanted to be a good wife. Well, when the relationship finally broke down, this woman left. And when she left, she knew that was the end of her life because everybody that she trusted made her to believe that she was a failure. She lost her confidence as a good mother. She lost her confidence as a good wife. And even the husband called her names. The husband labeled this woman a gold digger. She labeled this woman a prostitute, a good-for-nothing woman. And so this woman ended up with zero self-esteem, zero confidence, couldn't even speak up as a woman. Well, after reflecting for a while, this woman decided to pick up the pieces and move on as a single mom of 3. She invested in herself. She learned the skills that she couldn't learn. And in all of that, she found her purpose. And that purpose became her greatest joy. And hey, that woman is me. That woman is Peggy Bareh. Now, today we are talking about love in the 21st century. And each one of us, I'm sorry I did not listen to all of the speakers, but I am sure that all of us here, we've been through love. We've been through some kind of love journey. Some good, some ugly, some nasty. But again, as human beings, sometimes we want something different. There was one point in my life, like I said, I just wanted a husband and children. I thought that being submissive was enough, being naive was enough, or being just yes, sir. When whatever thing he said, yes, sir, without even questioning, I thought all of that will make my marriage happy. But no, I was wrong. All of that were not enough to make my marriage a happy marriage. So I obviously came into that relationship with a cup full of naivety. I thought being submissive wife or being a submissive wife, as the Bible says, was all. I thought being a submissive wife was giving away my voice, that I couldn't question my husband. If he does something, I'll say, oh, you're right, you're right, you're right. I thought that was being submissiveness, but I was wrong. And so, again, my husband did not just want a submissive wife. She wanted an intellectual, a focused thinking, an oriented or solution-oriented wife. That is what he wanted. Along the line, I've learned all these skills. Like I said, I developed myself. I learned all the abilities of what it means to be a good wife, what it means to be a purpose-driven wife. And all of that, I thought I was equipped. And then found another man. And I thought, yeah, this is just what I wanted. Oh my God. He treats me like a queen. He answers yes to everything I say. If I say I want this, that's it. If he lifts my feet up and pamper me and all of that. But then I realized that, hang on, we couldn't have a reasonable conversation. I couldn't have a conversation with this man. He couldn't reason with me. We were far apart. I was on a different lane and he was on a different lane. I wanted him to be a leader. He also wanted to be a leader, but he lacked the leadership qualities and he wasn't willing to learn. And so what happened? The relationship became so boring and I had to quit. Fast forward, again, at this point in my life, same as some of you. And I know some of you are single mom. When we get to a certain point in life, we start to ask some questions. And like I always say, as I journey into this last moment of my life, I said, I am journeying into my last bus of relationship. When I get to that bus stop, that is the last and final bus stop. And so that is why I'm very, very particular. And the question that I ask myself is, Peggy, what do you want in your next relationship and what can you give? Because it's not just about what we want, it's about what we can give. And so that answer for me, I always say, I want to give I-A-M. And that I-A-M is I am. I want to give I am. Because that three letters, right, for me, these are the keys to a fulfilled relationship. So I is ignite consciousness. I want a man that is awakened to their relationship. And igniting consciousness just means to wake up. Because at one point in my life, I was slipping through my pain. I was slipping through my naivety, slipping through everything that my parent taught me, the limiting belief. I was slipping through them. Nobody woke me up. I said, Peggy, wake up to realities. And so, but when I finally woke up to realities, that is when I started seeing things clearer. So I want a man that has woken up to their realities, a man that has woken up to their strengths and weaknesses. Because you know what? Life is full of challenges. We will go through traumas. We will go through trials. We will make mistakes. But what I always say is that, what are the lessons that we have learned? So if you find a man in this 21st century, a man who is not willing to be a man who is not willing to ignite their consciousness and wake up to the mistakes that they have made, and also to the realization of the lessons that they have learned, then that is number one big flag of a failed relationship. So that is I. The second one is A, which is accept responsibility. I want a man who can accept 100% responsibility for their life and their happiness. As I write in my book, accepting responsibility is giving you the dustpan and the brush. You can easily sweep your life to any standard that you want. Because if we keep blaming people and keep wishing for them to come and sort the mess that they made in our life, we will wait forever. And so, in this 21st century, I am looking for a man who has accepted 100% responsibility for their life. Not a man that is going to come and tell me that I blame X, Y, Z, I blame the weather, I blame everybody, I blame my mother, my grandfather, my great-grandfather for not teaching me what I would have been. No, I do not want that man. I want a man that can come and say, yes, even though my mom did not teach me this, even though I made a mistake, even though I messed up, but I accept full responsibility for my life and my happiness. I accept full responsibility for my future. If you find a man that doesn't want to accept full responsibility for their life and they keep blaming their ex and exes, I'm sorry, that is a red flag to a failed relationship. Right. Number 3, I want the M, which is meaning or purpose. I want a man who know who they are and why they were born. Because for me, I know who I am and why I was born. And everything that surrounds me, the way I talk, the way I think, the way I act, it all aligns with my purpose in life. And so I want a man who knows who they are and why they were born. Because if we know who we are and why we were born as a partner, we begin to align together. Our values align, our thoughts align. Come on, life can never be boring. The relationship it's not going to be boring because we'll have things to talk about, things that fall in line with our purpose. The relationship is going to be sweet. I don't want a boring relationship. And so, again, if you find a man or not a man, I know some men are here, any partner, whether a wife or a man, if you find a partner who do not know who they are and why they were born and cannot respect your purpose or meaning in life, then I'm sorry, that is another red flag to a failed relationship. And so, one thing I am saying is that we cannot give what we don't have. We can only give what we have inside of us. And so I have invested a lot in myself, and I will not want to waste that on anybody. So as I move on with my life, in that my final bus stop of my relationship, I know and I'm confident in myself. Michelle talked about confidence. I am 100% confident. I know who I am. I can define myself. If you wake me up from my sleep, I'll tell you who I am. I am confident and 100% confident that any man that I find, I can give them I am. I can give them I will ignite consciousness. I can give them all these things that I have outlined, because I know that if I give these things, I know for sure that we will have a fulfilled relationship. So I will not be long. And I just want to say, as we round up, we all go out there. I know some of you already have your beautiful relationship. You are doing good. But some of us, we are still searching. We are still single and searching. But hey, whichever way you are or whichever lane you are, go out there. If you have a love relationship, keep loving. And maybe you haven't even evaluated these three things. Evaluate these three things, because I tell you, it will add more ingredient. It will add more sweetness to your relationship. For those who are still looking, go out there, look for love in line with I am. Hey, let me end here. I am Peggy Bareh. I am an survival empowerment coach and a published author. I am the founder of Arise and Thrive Academy. And what do? I support survivors of abuse to heal, to rebuild their lives, and to become confident and resilient parents. I hope you got something from it. And thank you so much. Thank you.
Woo!
Woo!
Awesome. Awesome.
Wow. That is awesome. That is phenomenal. Dr. Rogers, I don't know what you think, but this is fantastic. The topics were brilliant.
Over the top.
Yes. Good. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. That was amazing. And wow, wow.
That's some powerful work on this platform. And what made it so good was, even exceptional, was the fact that these are women who don't mind sharing their stories, and they're telling the truth. They're telling their truth. Wasn't nothing phony about these messages today. It wasn't fake.
Yeah, it's so funny.
I'm still getting goosebumps. They wasn't fake, y'all.
No.
Yeah. For some reason, all the men, they kind of just drop off today. I'm like, what happened? I'm like, what? I got the last text. I can't make it. My internet is not working.
Yeah.
But this is yeah. I think this message is for us.
Yeah. Yeah.
For us women. You know, that's what I'm taking away from there. Just a quick going around the room. We're coming up towards the end. I just want to, who's got an event that's happening right now? Can you just tell us a few minutes what events you've got going, what's happening? You know, I know Jasmine, Dr. Rogers, we've got an event coming up. And Sandra.
Yes. Anybody want to make the announcement?
Yeah, so come on, this is time you make your announcement. So I'll start from Jasmine, and I'll walk through the thing. Jasmine?
Okay. All right, thank you, Margaret. So the exciting, news is that we are hosting, or Dr. Pat is hosting, an in-person event on the 18th of October. There'll be a virtual one happening on the 17th of October, but we are really looking forward to the 18th to meet her in person and, have fun with her and just physically touch her. But basically, it's happening on the 17th. It's happening between 8:30 a.m. till 8:30 a.m. till 6 p.m. Eastern. And then on a Saturday where we meet in person is 11 a.m. till 3 p.m. I've dropped the details in the chat. It's Speakers Conference 2025.eventbrite.com. So I would love for you to come and join us and celebrate, connect with people, and that's how you do business, connection. And then you sell to each other afterwards. So yeah, that's one of the events coming up. Dr. Pat will probably speak about the book launch that we've had. So take it away, Dr. Patricia Rogers.
Go on.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well, I just want to clean up what she just said. She has it in the chat about the speakers conference. Only thing she had the back was on the Saturday is from 8:30 to 6. But you'll see it when you click the link. I just wanted to make it clear. And we are looking for, if you like to speak at the virtual, you can speak at the virtual like Dr. Lawanna. She can't travel. She choose not to travel. The platform is open. We do have vacancies for about 3 more speakers for the virtual. And that is what it's virtual is for. Those who can't travel, even those who are in the book, that was part of their bonus to come to the in-person event and be on a stage as an expert panelist. So we lost some along the way, but we're good. We got more than enough. We'll probably have a couple more spots because everybody's not coming. We had 24 speakers, 24 authors. Everybody's not coming because some of those are in other countries. So, but yeah. Then Jazz is in London. Margaret's in London. I'm just excited. I'm not even gonna go through all of that. But at any rate, and then so I would like to have an ask that everybody click that link. I'm asking if you all would please click the $2.99 link. We are still in the mode of promotion. We took on 14 days and we have done exceptionally well. We have made bestseller, but we're still not done yet because you just constantly categories, all that changes and stuff. But we have really, and then we're looking to make international, and my publisher is keeping track of that. And I'm pretty sure I already know God's going to do that because we've never asked for anything that we don't get. I'm sure y'all can say that too, if it's good for us. So I'm asking if you all would just contribute and get the digital copy for $2.99 because that's what counts the most right now during this period. And of course, like I said, so that's really all I have for today. Again, Dr. Margaret, there's that prophecy, there's that prophecy.
Receive it.
Coming to the event, Dr. Margaret Thorli will no longer be Margaret Thorli. God willing, we're working on the fact that she's going to be Dr. Margaret. That's something she wants, and she's praying for it. I'm praying with her, and we're going to let God do what he does. Ladies and gentlemen, I have a good life. I'm so grateful. And if only I knew that message I shared today when I was in my 20s, I may have had a different path, but it's okay because nobody told me. But boy, when I was doing that research, I'm like, Lord, I love this. I done made the market. I didn't even know all that. I figured it out myself. But God is good and I'm happy. I'm a happy camper. And I just tell God, thank you. Because Sister Michelle said it, basically what I heard. What I was hearing and what I was putting is anything that I'm going in, if anything that I can do for myself, if a man can't do more than that, I don't need it. And I got it all now. I got it all. I don't need them. Horace Car Wash. So, and I told my daughter that, and she told me that a couple of times. I said, you telling me to get married? I said, you know what? Did I find somebody? And if I get married, guess what? I say, well, if I bring them in, that means that they get everything that I got when I'm dead and gone. She said, I changed my mind. I said, okay. I don't care if it ain't for $25,000. He gonna get that. So what are you trying to marry me off of? Horace Car Wash. So yeah, we do have to think. And somebody just said, we got to think it through. We got to start thinking things through because a man is not a plan. A man, we are the master plan. We make it, it's in our head and it's up here. And if we listen to God, they can't plan out what God has for us. So I'm good. I enjoyed this, Margaret. And we met the mark. Great Everybody, job. Y'all was
great job.
You all were beautiful. Awesome. The message, everything was just so real. It was genuine and from the heart. And for that, I tell God, thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you for that. Thank you. And Sandra, what we got coming up?
Yeah, so I do Power of Vision workshops monthly, and they're for people who are stuck trying to figure it out, would like more joy in their life and, clarify their vision. And so it's going to be July 25th, so less than 2 weeks ago from now. There's an in-person version in Atlanta, but there's also a Zoom at noon Eastern. I had put it in the chat a little earlier, but I can put it in again in case somebody can attend.
Awesome.
And pass it on to anybody you know who might be interested. So it's a 90-minute virtual, 3 hours in person in the Atlanta area near the Brave stadiums, near where they're having the All-Star game that's coming up next week. So anyway.
And you said you put the link in the chat, right?
Yeah.
I put it in previously, but I can put it.
No, I find it. I'm gonna save it. I got it. We have to send it out. That's why I asked, because we have to send this out to everybody that was here. You all will get the copy of this list, but we gotta kind of make it bigger, enlarge it. So y'all will get a copy. Margaret will take care of that. I'm gonna send her once I doctor it up. So that's all. As long as it's there, that's good. Everybody drop your stuff in there. I'm coming over there to visit you at some point. I know you said you do it online. I did that once, but I do want to come over to Atlanta because I'm on a road right now though. I'm hanging out now, girl. Me and my bad hip and all. I gotta get out of this chair.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Right, the next one, please, Janice, go ahead. What we got coming? What's happening? Yes, yes.
Wanted me to say something?
Yes,
Not
of
me.
course. Have you got any events coming up?
Oh, no, honey, I don't have anything going on right now. Okay.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thanks. Thank you, babe.
Okay. Dr. Lawanna, what have you got coming? What have we got coming up?
Well, I have two things. One is my virtual retreat, which is becoming my annual thing. Of December the 6th is when that's scheduled. The other is I am building my Dream Builders community on Facebook. So if you'd like to join in there, I try to put in stuff that people, I hope, can use immediately. And it's an opportunity to get to know me better and me to know you better as well. Who knows? I may decide to do a workshop in between there, but as of right now, it's just a retreat in December the 6th, and I hope all of you will come. And of course, I'll be looking for a couple of speakers. So, opportunity.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Please put your contact details in the chat. Thank you so much. Michelle, what have we got coming up?
So I'm going to be a part of the Speakers Conference in October and just continuing to work with clients doing one-to-one coaching. So if you all know anyone, any woman that needs some empowerment coaching, I put my information in the chat. And please come follow me on social media because every day I'm dropping some meaningful moments of power.
Awesome.
Thank you so much. Thank you. And for your info on the chat, please. Appreciate that.
Yes, I put it on there. Yep.
Yeah, thank you. Lorraine, lovely having you. Lovely. You've been with us and really respect. I salute you. Thank you. Really honored.
Thank you.
Okay. You got anything or you just came to sponsor your daughter?
No, I'm just following her progress.
I love it. I love it. And we need that from time to time from our mums, to just follow us, to support us, and to know that they've got our back. So thank you so much. And thank you for being here all the time. Thank you.
Thank
Great.
you.
What have you got going?
Yes, I do. I do. And I'm just about to put it in the chat. It goes file. No, I guess not. What is it? Screenshot file. I think it's file. No, it's not. I don't know.
Okay.
I was going to put it in the chat. There's something.
Well, I know you're very active on the social media and everything. So definitely we'll follow you and we'll connect you with that because I see you're very, very active. So thank you very much, Grace. Thank you. Peggy, what have we got going?
Margaret, I haven't got anything going because I am just focused on the other side of the business. And yeah, so nothing much going. I'm just looking forward to the Dr. Pat's event. I think that virtual event in October. I think I'll be speaking at that event. And yeah, and then another thing that some of the ladies you have, if I get the time to register or pop in, yes, I'm glad to do that. But yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much. Really appreciate that. Lisa, what have you got going? Come on down. What have you got going?
Yes, so I just launched a series surrounding trauma called Straight Out of Trauma. It's about exposing and overcoming trauma. So I would like to invite you all, if you have a story of overcoming trauma that you would like to share and be a part of my podcast, to connect with me so that we can talk about how you can be a part of that. My link is in the chat, my calendar link. So you can click that and get on the calendar and we can meet and discuss it.
Awesome.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Just repost it again, please.
Okay, I will.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah.
I figured out how to do it, and I put it in the chat there. A success talk with Dr. Bob Bukowski on Sunday evening, and it's you know, on the internet, online, on Zoom, and or you can dial in.
Okay, thank you so much, Grace. Thank you. We can see that there. Thank you. Gail, what have you got going? The voice with the heart. I love that.
Thank you, Margaret. Well, I also will be at Dr. Patricia's conference and have a chapter in her book. So I'm hoping that people will see
book.
our book. I have a chapter in our book. So want you to see that, and also invite you, and I'll put it in the chat again, to my monthly gathering of hearts, the first Friday of each month at noon Eastern, which is just a time for people with heart and people who work from the heart to come and share what's on and in their hearts in a space of respectful and sacred listening, and to provide that same kind of listening for others. We sometimes have a very small circle. Sometimes it's a large circle, but it's a time when those who are spending so much of their lives serving can come and be served. And those who are feeding others can come and be fed. So invite anybody. It's free. We do it the first Friday of every month, and there's a link in the chat.
Awesome.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you. Dr. Rogers, do you want to have the last chat and then we come and we close? Dr. Rogers?
Oh, you said something to me. I'm sorry.
Yeah, so do you want to say one more, the last thing?
I was trying to take pictures, honey. But yeah, I want to say something. Jasmine, this is a perfect platform. You see it? Do you see it? You see what I was telling you? That's a perfect platform. Yeah, that was just, picture taking. And also, I just want to commend Michelle. Thank you so much, because what she did, I'm just saying it, what she did was what we all should do when we attend people's events. Bring somebody. Bring somebody. If everybody would bring somebody, and all of us entrepreneurs, we say we got 1,000 followers, we got 10,000 over there, we got 100,000 over there, and then we go and we don't even support. So I just wanted to commend you for bringing somebody, because you didn't have to. And I just appreciate that. And normally when I go to other people's events and I'm going in, even when I can't go and I've registered, I call Ann and I thank her. They just went to events yesterday, because I can't be everywhere all the time. But people need butts in the seats, always. And we always get a lot of registrants. But I'm just saying, if we're going to be a family and a network, let's look out for one another. That's all I'm saying. Bring somebody. We all got somebody we can bring. Even when we attend these other events, I was at the event the other day with Dr. Lawanna. And as long as people allow you to post in their chats, we posted about Margaret's event. We're not responsible for who come, but our job is responsible for carrying the words, because we are our sisters and brothers keepers. and I enjoyed myself at Dr. Lawanna's event the other night. I'm really just glad I went, because we all are getting stronger and the bond is growing, and we have to help one another. It's not about whether we like people ways or not. If we're serving and doing it unto the glory of honor God, because as long as you put out, God's going to give it back to you. It may not come the same thing, same people, but God's going to always fill your cup. And I believe in that. I just believe in that. So that's my story. And I think that was all. I really just wanted to reverence her. And I definitely I'm going in now. Jeanice, can I go in? I'm going in, whether you say I can or not. Been struggling with this young lady for about a year or so, if not more. I don't know. I met her in WPN and we've been friends for a long time. And I'm telling you, every time I try to get her to come and speak and come and do this and come and do that, because God put her on my heart. You need to start talking. She's just a quiet storm. And I'm like, she needs to get out more. And every time I try to get out on that platform, she didn't have that virtual background. She couldn't put it up because she needed to get some new equipment or something was going on. She just missed our book lunch because she didn't have it up. But she got it up today, don't she? But let me tell y'all something. When y'all realize all the blessings that y'all missing, y'all ain't missing opportunities for that. I'm offering y'all. Y'all missing opportunities that God told me. Reach out to that person, ask them, and that's it. That's all I'm telling you. So when we miss opportunity, girl, you made my heart bleed today when I saw you. I just couldn't say nothing. But I ain't mad at you. Yeah, we got to get a devil a black eye. You looking good, y'all. Give us some energy like you just don't. Wave your hand. Come on. She overcame that. That's a challenge. Technology.
There you go, Jeanice. Good
That's
job.
a challenge. You're looking good, and you spoke very well today. So y'all know about as much as her about me that this is how much I've seen her too. So I just talked to her in the chat. We're good. I love you, girl, and you're looking good. Okay, I think I shut up now. Margaret, home run.
Thank you so much.
Lease,
Thank
I'm
you.
looking forward to talking to you, Lease. You might as well go ahead and claim your speaking opportunity because you're here in Atlanta.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Yes,
I will be in Atlanta, and like Jasmine say, we can't wait to come touch you, feel you, pinch you to see if you're real.
I'm looking forward to it.
Okay. And I look forward to seeing all of you. And thank you so much for being at this event. It couldn't have done without God's amazing and wonderful grace and sharing of the stories, which was from the depths of our hearts. And thank you. It was truthful. It was open. It was honest. And we give all God the glory. And thank you so much, ladies. I don't know what happened to the gentlemen, but thank you so much. Truly appreciate you all. And I look forward to seeing you and also attend some of your event. God bless. Love you lots.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody.
Awesome.
Bye, everyone. Thank you.
Y'all look so good. Look at everybody. Wave your hand. Y'all take a snapshot, Jazz. One more time. I need another one. Oh, wait. We got to need another one. One more. And now we don't have a full, but it's okay. The waving the hand is what I need. Go ahead. Everybody. Jazz, you got to wave yours too. One of them at least. I got it. Okay, yeah. So we can't help that at the bottom. Okay, good job. You guys look great. We got content in the chat. If you want to hear a little bit about what you did before we send the replay out, you can. We take snapshots. It's in the chat. Y'all visit the chat. And thank y'all again for coming. I love you, Margaret. I love everybody. Gail, Grace, all of y'all. Dr. Lawanna, Sandra, Michelle, Jasmine. Oh God, Lorraine, I enjoyed chatting with you today. Oh my goodness, and Lease, and y'all just have a wonderful, wonderful day. I'm going to celebrate me today because we hit another home run event. And what I normally do is I go to the crab house and I get me some lobster and some crab legs and some boiled shrimp. I'm good, y'all. I'm gonna change my clothes and I'm gonna treat myself because Michelle told me I deserve it. Woo, woo, there it is.
You do. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. God bless everyone. God bless. Love you all. Thank you.